myself Santosh, and currently I'm working as manager in Microsoft, taking training for KSR for the last 5 years.
Before I start today's session, one small story I'll tell you. And for that story, you need to tell me what is the moral of the story. Okay, is it clear? Are we good? Okay, imagine you have not joined for data engineering. You have not joined for any course. Imagine you're an athletic. When I say athletic, you're actually a sports person. You could be like a cricket player. You could be like a javelin thrower, like whatever you call, right? Any sports. And you're thinking to learn swimming. You're thinking to learn swimming. The best sports you can have for your fitness is swimming. Okay, whether you're running, jumping, going for gym, it's all secondary. If you're doing swimming, it keeps your body very, very fit. Okay, if you're trying to learn, try to join a swimming, learn swimming, and then be fit. And you're thinking to learn swimming, you join a swimming coaching center. Okay, coaching center, swimming coaching center, and the trainer name is Arul. Arul. Okay. He has 19 years experience in swimming. He's an expert. Okay. And he's a guide. He has done a lot of records, Guinness records, right? He's one of the best ever swimming trainer you can have. Best trainer you can have. Okay. You're trying to learn from him. You're trying to learn from him. Okay. Now, you go to the coaching and he's starting giving advice, everything. You have to swim. You have to there is a lot of actually swimming styles. Okay. Like, let's say, for example, he's teaching you like this. He's teaching you like this. How to swim. How to swim is actually giving you some images and all. Okay. He's saying that first you need to make sure that you be flat. Okay. And you shake your legs. You shake your legs and you pull your hands inward and upward and try to shake your hands. Try to shake your legs very fast. It should be very horizontal. And if you pull it, and automatically you will move forward. And every 2 strokes or 3 strokes, you have to put your head up, take breathe in, breathe out. That is what he's teaching. Okay. Now, whatever he is teaching, you're learning on land. Like you're not still got into the water. You're still on the land. He's teaching a very excellent trainer that you can get. 19 years experience, a lot of Guinness records you have done, and he's teaching you without getting into the water, can you become a swimmer? He's a best teacher. Why can't you become a swimmer? Until you practice, you can never get into the subject, correct? Similarly, what I'm talking about is swimming. Even though he's a best trainer, experienced trainer, his work, he is actually a Guinness record holder. If he's teaching only by listening, only by orally you are understanding what he's saying, you can never ever swim. If you want to swim, you have to get into the water. You have to feel the water. You have to be in the fear. Only then you can learn, right? Now, change of subject. This is not swimming. This is coding, Python. Can you relate it? If you don't practice, why I'm telling you this story is your coding, programming, Python practicing is exactly equal to swimming. Maybe I may be your guide. I may be your coach. I may be your trainer. Whatever I'm telling, if you don't try in the water, if you still keep on trying on the land, forever you will be on the land only. If you want to face a challenge, then you have to jump into the water. It's not like, see, like if I'm telling story, if I'm speaking, if I'm helping you to speak English, some mathematics I'm teaching, you need not even practice. You can simply listen and you can complete it. But your coding is not like that. Unless and until you take efforts, nothing you can learn. With all those stories, let's get into the subject. In the last class, we have talked about Python. Python is a snake, but that doesn't mean that the subject is also a snake name just because it is eating off all the technologies. Don't think into that assumption. It has came from one of the popular show. The name has come from one of the popular show. And yesterday we have discussed, just to give you a recap, we have talked about a high level programming language and a low level programming language, something which humans are understandable. It's called high level programming language. And undoubtedly Python is a high level language where if you know English, you can go and start coding. With that, we have also seen what made us to go with Python. because of the large community, job opportunities, platform independent, open source, rich libraries, and easy syntax. All this is making me to use Python. I keep saying this every single day. Data engineering, to learn data engineering, to cross the world of data engineering, it's like climbing a Mount Everest. In order to climb the Mount Everest, initially you need to have a lot of challenges, and rather than deciding a complex language, let's use Python. So Python is the most easiest language among all the programming language because of its easy syntax and rich libraries, right? With all those, let's get into the next part, which is called installation. Let's get into the next part, which is called installation. In order to work with our Python, we have to install something called Anaconda. We have to install something called Anaconda. Now, let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. First, I'll tell you how the installation used to be. Okay, I'll tell you how the installation used to be. We have come up with a document to install Python. Okay, so beginning, okay, before every other softwares, in order to work with Python, this is what it is. To install Python, the first thing I'll go and do is, in my search bar, I'll go and get this command prompt and I'll go and search something called Python. So it says that the term Python is not recognized. Okay, that's a message I'm getting. So immediately I'll go to the Google. I'll download Python, download. And obviously my machine is a Windows 10 or 64-bit. Choose that. After choosing that, you just go and click this Python release for Windows. Click that. You'll be getting this and download the latest version. The latest version was 3.1.0. After doing that, you'll be able to download this. Download for Windows. Click this. Click this. After clicking, the Python file is getting downloaded, exe file, 27.7 MB. And then after downloading, you have to put it in one software and go for storing that, and then double click it. It is going to ask you, are you going to install Python? Yes, I'm going to install. And after that, you can see that Python would have been installed. To double check, you can go and see in the command prompt as well. So this is the installation steps. Okay, the setup is completed. After setup is completed, now if you go and search Python, it will tell you the version that you have installed is 3.1.0. The Python version is installed. This was all the old method of installation. This was all old method of installation. First, I need to go and check, and if it is not there, I have to install in my machine, and then I need to go and set the variables, and you need to go to the check version. All this old version. Now we are into the latest technology, and your installation is a very straightforward. Whatever I've told, don't go and try it. Directly come to this page, how to install Anaconda. Anaconda is a platform where you can go and write Python scripts. I repeat, Anaconda, again, it's not a snake. Just because everything is in the form of snake names, they have also kept Anaconda. So Anaconda is a software where you can go and write all of your Python scripts. Okay. Now, if I go and search Anaconda here, if I go and search Anaconda, here, it says that Anaconda is a distribution of Python and R programming languages that aims to simplify package management and deployment, and they're released in 2012. Okay, the license is free. The operating system can be can be installed on Windows, Mac, and Linux. The last stable version they have released in October 18th, 2022, 1 year back. Now, this is a software that we can use it for running the Python code. So how to install it? I'll be walking you through the installation scripts. Okay, so just installation steps. So from here, you need to install it. Whatever I've told before, forget that. If you want to work with the Python, the first thing you need to have is an environment. You need to have the software. To have the software, simply go to the Google search Anaconda download. After searching the Anaconda download, click the first link. Anaconda distribution. Click that Anaconda distribution. You will be getting this. You will be getting this. In the products, you can directly see that Anaconda distribution. It's a Windows one. Okay, Python 3.9 64-bit, and it is a size of 594. By chance, if you want for a Mac system, please go and click this additional installers. Since most of the people are installing on the Windows machine, it is directly available here. If you want any other OS, just go and click this. And once you click this, the file will get downloaded. Thank you for downloading. So it's a 594 MB, which was a long back. I have installed 1 year back. Now the version could be changed. The size of the file also could be changed. So check that, download it. After downloading, put it into one folder, go to software and create one folder called Anaconda. And in that you can copy this file and straightforward double click, run. That's it. Once you double click, it will actually welcome to the Anaconda setup. Just go and click next. And once you click next, it will ask you to give the agreement. Just agree it. Just do that. Just me, because you're the only person who's using your system. Just go and enter just me. Next. Don't change anything. It requires a space of 3 GB. So make sure that the space is more than 3 GB. Go for next. Register Anaconda as my default path. Click that. Install. Next. Now this is a step it used to take a lot of time. Okay. So this step will take a lot of time because it has to install all the packages, libraries. So if you see, right, this is actually was done on 6:15 and it was like 6:17. Look, it will take some time. It will extract all the libraries. You need not do anything. 6:20, it was still taking time. And finally, installation was complete. It took almost 6:24. That means 10 minutes. 10 minutes it will take for installation completion. Okay, don't cancel in between. I'm telling you, if your system is very good, 10 minutes it will take. And once the installation is complete, just go and click next. And the setup is completed. Go and click finish. That's it. Installation success. Welcome to the world of snakes, Anaconda. Now this is where you'll be writing all the code going forward. Right? Now installation is complete. Installation is complete. And directly you go to search now. Directly go and search. You go and search Anaconda. You will be getting something called Anaconda Navigator. You'll be getting something called Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda Navigator is a software now where we can go and write all of our Python code. Okay. Now let's try to work with our basic code today. Okay. So this is done. Installation is done. And once you open Anaconda, this is icon, you'll get it. And this is a next navigator, you will get it. Okay. Now let me close this installation. I'll be sharing this document. Don't worry. After the session, I'll be putting into the WhatsApp group as well as a community, and as well as we'll be uploading in the app. Don't worry. Now installation is complete. Directly go to Google. Just search Anaconda, download, install it. Next, done. Your i5 system should be more than enough, but it's a very big file, 500 MB file, so it may take some time. Now after that, let me go and open that Anaconda Navigator. I'll click this. After clicking the Anaconda Navigator, a green icon mark will come. A green icon mark will come. So this is the installation. It's opening. It's opening. Initializing. That means the software is installed. So it will take some time. Right. And now the Anaconda Navigator has been installed. Now this is the first screen that you will see as part of your installation. Installation is done. Now this is where you will go and write the code. How to write the code? We will see that. Now, since we have installed this Anaconda, let's come across what is this Anaconda. Anaconda is a package manager, an environment manager, where it will have all the Python libraries and we can go and use directly. It is a collection of many packages. You can directly build data science, data engineering, data analytics, every project you can build. Think that as a software. Think that as a software. If you want to cook food, you need a kitchen. Now, we want to cook food. The kitchen is Anaconda. And the food we are going to prepare by using Python, right? For that, we need an environment. This is where you can also download it. Go to the website. You can choose it, whichever version. It may be a 32-bit machine or a 64-bit machine, and always go with a 3.7 version. 2.7 version is an older version. Don't go for it. In Windows, we have 3.7. Depending on your system configuration, you can either select this or select this. You can select this or select this if it's a Mac machine and install this. I've already shown you the step by step. Every single step by step I will shown you. Choose Python 3 to install. It is recommended for our course. 3 means anything above 3. Don't go with this. Don't go with this. Okay, don't install this. And tomorrow, don't tell me if it's not working. You have to always go with 3.7. Do that. This is the installation process I've already shown you. Just go with the just me, all this. Again, whatever I've shown you here, it's also been shown. Now, how the Python works. Okay, how the Python works. Whatever you're entering in some editor. You're entering in some editor. That editor actually captures the code in the form of a high level language. What is high level language? Something which humans can understand is called high level language. With that high level language, your computers may not work. So that high level language has to be converted into a machine language, which is called bytecode. So bytecode is actually responsible for making the system understand. Maybe high level language as a human I can understand, but machines has to understand a separate way of code. So that is where you will be writing. I mean, internally it will be converting into a bytecode, and finally the program will be running. Okay. Now we do have different type of IDEs. Okay. So let's see different set of IDEs. Now this is a Anaconda Navigator. There is something called Spider. There is something called Spider. I think snakes can eat spider. I don't know, but they have kept a name called Spider. Just go and launch the Spider. Let's go and launch this. All these are editors. All these are editors. Okay. All these are editors. In that, I am going and choosing something called Spider, and automatically the Spider has opened. This is Spider. This is Spider. Okay. Now, what I will do in Spider, I can write some code. I can write some code. Okay. In Python, you can write anywhere. This is one type of editor. The editor name is called Spider. So I'll simply go and say November 7th, 8, 24. Not sure if it's a good time. For the first time, we are going to write the first code in Python. Print welcome to KSR Datavizon. This is the first code that we are writing in Python, right? And I'll go and run this. I'll go and run this. And let me do one thing. Let me run it. It's running the file. Here you can see that the Python is getting started. So it's the first time, right? So it will take some time. So please wait. You can see that the starting is the icon, start icon is rotating here. So just wait for a minute. I've just written my first code in Python. Print welcome to KSR Datavizon. Still taking time. Okay. Meanwhile, what I'll do, I'll not waste my time. I'll go here. The one which we have tried now is Spider. The one which we have tried now is Spider. So where was Spider? Spider was present here. Okay. There's something called PyCharm. In PyCharm also you can write the Python code. You can write it in Spider, you can write it in PyCharm, you can write it here, you can write it here, you can write it here. But for the entire practice purpose, you can choose whichever you want. All these are called IDEs. So IDE is nothing but a development environment. So development environment is where you can go and write the code. We have all of this tool. We have Spider, we have Qt console, and you have Jupyter Lab, and you have PyCharm, and we have Jupyter Notebook. And for the entire course, I'm going to use Jupyter Notebook. Please go and launch this Jupyter Notebook. Please go and launch this Jupyter Notebook. Maybe I tried to open Spider, but I'm also opening something called Jupyter Notebook. The reason why I will be using Jupyter Notebook is it is a very clean and neat environment. You can go and write the code. First time I'm going to open it, so I'll go and open a new file. First time I'll open a file, which I'll go and say new file. And the new file, this is a new file. I'll go and name it. So Python basics. This is something but October batch. I'll name it as 07 11 2020. I'm just giving with a name. So this is a file name I'm giving. And for the first time, I'm going to write the first code. I'll write print of welcome to the world of data. And after writing my first code, I will go and run it. I am getting the output. I'm getting the output. For the first time, we have written. Okay, in Anaconda, we have Spider, we have PyCharm, we have Notebook, we have everything. What I have chosen here is for the entire course, I will be using something called Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook, the reason why even I like personally is in your school times, when you are like practicing handwriting, you'll always write it in 2 lines. 2 line notebook will say. We have 4 lines, we have ruled book, we have unruled book, and we have 2 lines. This exactly looks like a 2 lines. It looks exactly like a notebook where you can go and write the code. Okay. So for going forward, all the code that we will be writing with a Jupyter notebook, don't think about all the other IDEs. Some IDEs are used for websites. If you see here, your PyCharm is used for building websites. Are we going to build a website? No, because Python is an ocean where we will not go and build the entire website and all. Whatever is required, our work is as a data engineer, do data cleaning, do the data transformations, and that's how you need to take forward. So don't think about all the other IDEs. Your IDEs like Spider, PyCharm, everything we can use as a web application. But what I need is a simple transformation. I want to make my transformations very simple. So for the entire course, I will be using something called Jupyter Notebook. We'll be writing something code in Jupyter Notebook. And for the first line, I have written something called print. So print of welcome to the world of data. I am getting the output, right? Now, this is the first line of code that I'm writing. Now, let's write another code. Let's write another code. I will simply go and write print of Python is so easy. Python is so easy. Now I will run it. There is a run command here and I will go and run it. And it is throwing me an error. It is throwing me an error. Line number 1, line number 2, there is an error. How is this? First, it was working. The second statement, it is not working. Actually, the second statement, Python is difficult. I am giving it as Python is easy. And that is why it is a false statement. And that is why it is giving an error. Am I correct? What I am saying, Python is difficult. I am given the false statement. That is why it is throwing error. Am I correct? Thank God, everyone is awake. What I've done here I'm using small p, but here I'm using capital P. There are some keywords that Python will understand. Python is not understanding capital P. It will actually understand only the small p. Now let me go and change this to small p. Now if I go and execute, now it will work. Right? Now, yes, Python is easy, provided if you practice. Correct? Now, let's go and do some another operations. What I will do, first I will go and give a equal to some 8 I'll give, b equal to some 10 I'll give, and c equal to a plus b I'll give, a plus b I'll give, and I'll go and say print of c. The answer is 18. Is coding difficult? Is coding difficult? Today I've written 3 lines of code. Is it difficult? Before watching the movie, they show something called 2 minutes trailer so that you people get interest on the movie. Whatever I'm showing, it's all trailer only. Okay, it's all trailer. That's why it looks very easy. Correct? But again, jokes apart, if you're still practicing on daily basis, for sure, this becomes one of the easiest subject. The reason is if you want to write code in Python, very simple. You know English, you can write it. I've done a simple mathematics. A equal to 8, B equal to 10, C equal to A plus B, and print of C I'm getting, right? Now, if it is in Java, first, before using any number or any variable, I need to make sure first that is it is declared. I need to tell, okay, that is a integer, that is a string, that is a data type, something I should have declared. And that is why Java is called static typed programming, whereas Python is dynamically typed programming. On the runtime itself, what value I've given in 8 is there, right? What value I've given 8, right? 8 and 10. Automatically it is assigned to A and B. Automatically it is assigned to A and B. That means that data type also is been pre-created at the runtime. So ideally, if I go and see what is a data type of A, what is a data type of A? If you simply go and see type of A, directly will get it as integer. You have not declared A as integer. So that is why it is called dynamically type programming. You need not create a data type. It will only automatically adjust it depending on the number. Depending on the number. Okay. Now, the first thing which you need to remember is 1 and 2. The first thing is which you need to remember is 1 and 2. Okay. Now, next we will work with some of the basic commands. So today we have started working on basic commands in Python. I am going to explain like explaining a ABCD in Python. Before learning a language, you should know ABCD, correct? If you want to speak English, first you need to know ABCD, then words, then sentence formation, then speaking. Similarly, what we are going to cover for the next 2 days, it's completely basics. It's completely basics. Okay. Tomorrow, don't come and ask me why small p is working, why big P is not working. Don't come and ask me. It's a self-understandable. Your Python keywords, there are certain functions that you have to use. One such is small p. If you go and write a big P, it's not at all present in my dictionary. If it's not present in my dictionary, how can I go and display it? Right? Now, the first topic that we are going to learn as part of our Python is, I'll go to the home page. I'll go to the home page. The last modified is something which I've created now. So Python basics. I'll go and create another page. Another file, Python 3. I'll open another notebook. Here I will go and say Python variables. Okay, Python variables. And I'll give the date 07/11/2023. And this is a new book that I've opened. It's basically a new chapter. And for this new chapter, I'm going and learning about my basics. And what is this basics is, we have to go and learn the first topic in our basics is variables. Now, what is variable? What is variable? Okay. Now, this is the first topic. I am giving A equal to 8. I'm giving A equal to 8. Okay. So once I'm giving A equal to 8, the value that we have, we actually have A. I'll simply go and say print of A. So I'm getting 8. I'm getting 8. Correct? I'm getting 8. Now I will say print of small a. It's saying A is not defined. That means the first topic that what we have learned is Python is case sensitive. That means your capital A is not equal to small a. Your capital A is not equal to small a. Though I have defined A equal to 8 and I'm writing print of 8, I'm getting this. But if I'm writing print of small a, it will not work. It will not work. The reason, Python is case sensitive. Insensitive means they don't even care about the case statements, but your Python is case sensitive. That means you have to be pretty sure on what you are giving. Okay. Now let's go and define some variables. Before that, I will go and also define what is this variable. I'll go and define what is this variables. Now, the word variable, something which acts like a storage. I can store something. Okay, something which acts like a storage. That means 8 I'm giving, right? I'm actually giving 8 as the storage. So something I'm going and storing it, right? So what I'm going to use is, in fact, I've given 8 equal to A, and even if I go and write print of A, I can still get the value. Imagine I'm giving B equal to 14. C equal to number 7. So if I go and write this print of A, I'll get 8. Print of B, I'll get 14. Print of C, I'll get 7. So that means I'm assigning some variable. So the way I will define the variable is something you can store as value for future purpose. Something which you can store it as part of future purpose. Okay. Now, just remember, variables are something which you can store as value for future purpose. Okay, in future you can refer this. Now there are certain rules and regulations you need to follow. If you are learning coding, you have to follow some rules and regulations. Okay, now in this batch, let's say that we have a total students, right? So rather than giving A equal to how many students are present, 61. Okay, excluding me, it's 61. So I'll give 61. So print of A. So 61 students are present in this batch. But what is his name? A. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, right? So what I will do, this A is actually a variable name. Can I give any name? Definitely you can give. I will give a name called total students equal to 61. I'll give total students equal to 61. Now I will go and print of total students. I'll get 61. Rather than giving A, rather than giving B, I am giving a variable name which is useful and it is understandable. Someone who sees my notebook, they should understand what I've written. That's my main purpose. Okay. Now, my weight is, let's say 70 kgs. My height is 165 centimeters. Okay. This is my weight and height. Now, if I go and show this to someone, how will they get to know it's my weight and height? Definitely no, right? So if I go and say print of A, who will tell me it's height or weight? If I go and say print of B, who will say this is actually a height? So definitely no. Rather than giving A and B, this time I am moving one step forward. I will give weight and I will give height, weight and height. Now I'll go and define weight. Print of weight is giving you 70. Print of height, I'm getting 175 centimeters. So basically, the way you define the variable names, it should be understandable for others. Anyone can give. You can give A, B, C, D, E, F. You can give till Z as well, but make it neat. Think this as a notebook. Think this as a record book where you can go and show it to anyone else. So give a proper naming conventions. Okay. Now I'll tell you what is not allowed. What is not allowed? I'll tell you what is not allowed. Okay. So this is students equal to 61. Okay. Students equal to 61. Total yes equal to 61. You either give total students, total yes, or even give 2 yes. Who cares? Who cares? You give whatever you want. I am least bothered because this is just the name of the variable. But I also have some patience. You cannot test my patience. You give me whatever name, I will accept. But if you go and give like this, I will not accept. I will not accept. This is okay for me. Okay for me. This is 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 not okay for me. This is not okay for me. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Now I am going and giving total students equal to 61 and I am assigning, it is actually throwing an arrow mark here. That means there is something called invalid syntax. Invalid syntax. Now, the first thing which you need to remember about the variable is a variable is something which you can store it as a value for the future purpose. But the second point about the variables is at any point of time, variables name should always be single word. You cannot go and use two words. This is also considered as a single word. single word, single word, single word, single word, but never used like total students. If there is some gap, it will not assign that 61. It will not even know whether 61 will be for this one or 61 will fit for this one. Python is good, not better than you. You are the people who have invented Python. So you are more brilliant than Python. Don't try to fool Python. Don't try to confuse Python. It has some protocols. It has some rules and regulations. It has some syntax. You need to manage that. Simply don't go and give this one. It will not work. Okay. Now, let's say in order to have two words, there is still a way to do it. There is still a way to do it. Rather than giving like this total students, which is not okay for me, I can go like give like this. Total students equal to 61. This I can give. This I can give. Let's see. Total students equal to 61. Now it's running, no error, print off. It will give you 61. So this is also okay for me. So which is not okay for me? I am not interested to give space between two words. So ideally, I'll put it like this. Your variable's name should be single word. Now, what is a special character I've added is this one, right? Underscore. What is this? Is any something special about underscore? Can I use any other special character? Any guess? Can I use like this? It is throwing me error. It is throwing me error. I'm actually pressing all these special characters. It's throwing me error, throwing me error, throwing me error, throwing me error, error. All these are special characters. Error. And finally, this is accepting. So the only one special character is allowed is only one special character allowed for naming variable is underscore. Underscore. Okay. Now, only underscore is allowed. But my question is, can I give a name just underscore? We'll see whether it will work or not. Yes, it's working. It's working. Whether you give underscore or you just give word underscore, it will work. Or let's give like this underscore total, and you also give underscore total. It is not, actually I did not run over. Yeah. So now it is taking. It is taking. So underscore, you give it in the front or you give it in the back, you give it anywhere, it will work. Anywhere you give, it will work. Okay. So, but if you give any other special characters, it will not work. So the third point I have named as only one special character is allowed, where the names can be underscore. Okay. Now I'll go and ask few questions. Tell me whether it's correct or wrong. Is it correct? Can I define this variable? Let's go and print it. Print of MS Dhoni. It will work. The best person. If I put underscore, will it work? Will it work? If I put underscore, will it work? Now let's do some manipulations. MS Dhoni 9. Sorry, MS Dhoni 7. So MS Dhoni 7 is been considered as one of the best player. Now I'll go and define this, print it, it will work. Right? It will work. It's a variable, right? I'm not using two words. If I use two words, it will throw error. Or if I want like this, I can also go and write like this. But what it will not work is if you're giving space like this, it may not work. Correct? So I will go and give like this, it will work. Okay. Everything I've tested, name, underscore, 7, space, everything I've tested. Now this is also working fine. Now, will this work? Will this work? Invalid syntax. Invalid syntax. That means again, I've got my third point. The third point, the name of the variable cannot start with number. Fourth point also I've given. It cannot start with a number. If you want, you can give something called underscore 7. It will work. But you can never give number as first. So this is what is the variables. Now this is what is the variables. Okay, whatever I've done, I'm actually going and defining. Okay. Now carefully observe another example. Another example now. Okay. So variables cannot start with numbers. Only one special character is allowed, and variables should be keyword. Okay. Now carefully observe. All this is done now. Let's go and add some values. A equal to Santosh, B equal to 3.5, C equal to 7. Okay, I'm assigning three values to three variables. Now A, B, C are called variables. Okay, I can say that A, B, C are called variables. If I want to see what is a data type of A, what is a data type of A, I will simply go and say TYPE type of A. It will give you STR. STR is nothing but shortcut. Python is lazy. It is called string. It is called string. For string only, they're cut shorting and giving the word str. Okay. Now, I'll go and give type of B now. I'll give type of B. So B is actually a number that I've assigned 3.5. So if I go and write type of B, I'll give something called float. I'll give something called float. Now, let's go and see type of C. I'll go and say type of C. So if I go and give type of C, it is actually giving something called integer. So now we have discussed about the data types. So we have three data types so far. One is called str string, one is called float, and one is called integer. Okay. Now carefully observe. I've already defined variables about four things. The last thing which I need to also tell you is whatever I have done, wherever you're seeing a green color, those are all called keywords. Those are all called keywords. Now I cannot go and do this. I cannot go and do this. The reason is it's working fine. It did not throw me any error. Print of type also I will give. It will work because 5 is assigned to type. Print of type is also giving. So absolutely it's working. But let's see what has happened here. I am defining A equal to Santosh, B equal to this. This code was working before. Now if I go and run this, it says that type object is not callable. What has happened? The main functionality of the type I have overwritten with the value 5. So the functionality what type was doing, type was a function which was giving us the actual data type, but I didn't know I have assigned the data type, I have assigned that keyword itself with a some number. So now it's acting like a variable. Now this is acting like a variable. 5 is assigned to this. So print of I am getting, but ideally speaking, if A equal to Santosh, and if I want to give type of A, it will not give. It will not give because type has been assigned with the number. The originality of the type is lost. The originality of the type is lost. Okay. Now let's do one more thing. Okay. A I've given right. Now I'll say print of A. Santosh. Now what I will do, print itself I'll assign to some number. Now if I want to print it, print of print, see, the originality of the print itself is lost. Print itself I've replaced it. Now if I want to put A equal to 5, and if I want to write print of A, it will not work. The main print function itself is not working. The reason, you have done some circus here. You have directly went and assigned that value to a keyword itself. The last statement, I can say that. Okay. Now, congratulations. You have completed the first topic in Python, which is called variables. What is variables? In future, if I want to use any value, I can store it in somewhere. So variables are something which you can store it for future purpose. So ideally, I need to see all the checks how it works. Variable name cannot be double words. It always should be a single word. And only one special character is allowed for naming convention, which is underscore. You give underscore, or you give underscore in the end, or you give underscore in the between, it will work. Any other special character will not work. The name of the variable cannot start with a number. The best example is MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni. So this will work, but only with number, it will not work. And finally, don't use a keyword for variable names. Now, unfortunately, now I've replaced the keyword, right? So now it will not work. Even if you stand upside down, your print is gone. Gone is gone. If you want to restart all this, if you want to reset all this variable, there is something called kernel. So go and restart the kernel. So restart the kernel means the entire variables will be washed off. So I'll go and restart. Do you want to restart the current kernel? All variables will be lost. I don't mind, restart it. So after restarting, now if I go and enter this, now if I go and see, type will work. Type will work. So print also will work. Print also will work because I have restarted it. So please make sure that you don't use your keywords for your variable names. Okay, that's the end of the first topic, which is called variables. Now, worst case, your laptop is 2 GB RAM, your laptop is 4 GB RAM, your laptop is i3 configuration, i5 configurations. Unfortunately, you're not able to install Anaconda because Anaconda is a big software. It comes around 500 MB and it requires 3 GB of space for installing. By chance, if you are facing some challenge, okay, if you don't want to use your installation file, that means if you don't want to install this Anaconda file, but still if I want to practice, there is also one more way that we can do it. Okay. Just because you don't have Anaconda, don't think that you cannot practice Python. The reason why I'm asking to install is it's your laptop, it's your software. You can install, we can practice whenever you want. Even if you don't have internet, you can still go and practice this. Even if you don't have internet, you can still go and practice this. Without internet also, it will work. But if you're not able to install this Anaconda, which is a very big software, after installing, if you're facing some system slowness, my other applications are not working, if all the circus things are happening, just go to your Google. Just go to your Google. This is your Google. Search something called Google Colab. Just search something called Google Colab. Directly go and search the Google Colab. The first link is there. Welcome to Collaboratory. Open that and use. This is a Google Colab. Okay. And it is actually opening this. Simply go and open, go to file, go to new notebook, and the entire one which you have seen in the Jupyter notebook, right? The same thing you will be able to see here. You'll be able to see here. So this is where it's called Google Colab. Print hello world. It will work. It will give you the results. Since it works with the internet and it takes off your memory space, it will be a bit slow compared to your on-prem. This will be a bit slow, but still you'll be getting. Okay. A equal to 3, print of A. I'll be getting this. Type of A. I'll be getting this. Okay. 7 MS Dhoni equal to the best cricketer. If I go and run this, it will not execute because your variable names cannot start with 7. I mean, your variable's name cannot start with number. So I can go with this one. Now, if I go and write print of MS Dhoni, it will work. So please use Google Colab if your laptop is not supporting. My first choice is always try to go and install Anaconda, very easy software. But still, I have a lot of people who says that my system is Windows i5 configurations. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do it. Just please go and use a Google Colab. Straightforward. But the only difference is if you're working with Google Colab, you have to have internet. Without internet, this will not work because you have opened in Google. But you're on-prem, that is, you have installed Anaconda, you can do it wherever you want. Okay, so this we will stop here. Today we have covered our first topic and let's move on to the next topic in the next class. Okay, thank you all.